Hello there. Welcome to the Drifting Spore. I'm Steve. It's a chilly old night in Nova Scotia tonight. I'm out in the shed, prepping for a shed experiment, is what I'm up to. So I've got two alcohol stoves I've made, methyl hydrate stoves, that is, that I've made. One of them I've been using for months now, and it has never ever let me down. And I have a new one that I think might rival my old faithful Looney Stove. I'm not sure, but that's what I'm out here to find out tonight. Will my new stove conquer my old stove and boil 2 cups of water faster than the old stove will? I don't know. If you're interested in seeing how this plays out, stick around. So we're going to start with my good old faithful Looney stove I made. This one here is just a water chestnut can with holes drilled through it. Inside of that, I've got my beer can stove that I made. It's been working just beautiful. It's a penny stove style, but I'm Canadian, right? So I use a Looney on it, Looney to cover the fill holes and when it's ready to bloom. It's been working perfectly for me for a good few months now. Can't knock it. It brings water to a boil fairly quickly. I can't think of any time I've actually timed it though to see how quickly it does bring water to a boil. I've got crossbars here that I put across the top of it once it's lit, and then my kettle will go on top of that. So let's get this stove filled up, get it lit, and get a timer going and see if we can boil 2 cups of water and see how long that's going to take with this stove. Okay, I'm going to fill the stove with methyl hydrate, which is always a fidgety bit of business. I'm probably going to spill some, you normally do. This one I don't measure how much methyl hydrate I put in it. I just keep putting methyl hydrate in it until it stops taking it. Once a pool stays in the top of the stove, that's when I know I'm ready to light it. I don't mind if I spill methyl hydrate outside into the wire chestnut can either, because that's just going to help this stove heat up and work even better. Say we got to be getting close there now. It's definitely slowing down. Yeah, there's a pool on top there. There we go. Now, neither of these stoves I'm testing are going to be able to be put out. They're going to have to burn till they're done burning. Get my lighter here. I got my Looney ready to go. Let's light this and get things on the go. Got my timer ready to hit. Here we go. There we go. That's lit. I'm going to give it a second to warm up. And then I'll get the kettle on it and start the timer. Okay, Looney's going in now. And never get that Looney in just right. There we go. And just give that a few more seconds to start pumping out the jets. It's got to get hot enough. Okay, there we go. That stove just bloomed. So on goes our kettle. That didn't take long. Kettle's on. Timer start. Yeah, let's see how long this takes. It's doing some huffing and puffing, but it's working pretty good, I'd say. Looks good to me. Try to get that pot centered on there. 5 minutes, 20 seconds in. Good strong flame off of there. Stove's doing great. Starting to see steam come out of them. There's definitely steam going on. 5.5 minutes. We're close, I think. 7 minutes in. I've got noises that sound an awful lot like boiling. Good steam coming out the top. Bubbles up front. I'll let go a little bit more. I want a hard boil. Oh, I'd say we got it there now. 7 minutes, 30 seconds to a hard boil. Cool. Stove's still going strong. Now I have no way to put that stove out, so I'm just gonna let the timer keep going, and I'm just gonna time it till it's out, I guess. Bring you back when I'm ready to set up the next stove. Under 8 minutes, good hard boil. Perfect. That's the old faithful stove. Man, oh man. 25.5 minutes, and the stove has still got little blue flame coming out the jets. 26-minute burn, man. Boiled water in 7.5 minutes. I'm gonna kill the timer, reset it, and we're gonna get ready to do the next stove. We'll have a look at it. Okay, so the new stove I've built is a ham can stove. It's got no pop can in it or anything. It's just a ham can and a tomato paste can. I cut the tomato paste can down so it's about an inch from the top of the ham can. And I put some steel mesh over the top of, I've got yellow pipe insulation inside of there. I know I've heard of people using cloth and stuff, but I always found, I've only tried canvas before and that didn't work so good. So I'm trying the yellow pipe insulation just to see how that works. So let's see how this one does. Very important with these types of stoves. You see I've got a hole drilled in the tomato paste can. Very important. If you do not drill a hole in there and you put a pot on top of this, the stove doesn't require crossbars either. I've rigged my crossbars up so that it can take them, but I don't plan on using them. I shouldn't need them. But if I don't have crossbars, if I don't have holes in this can, when I put my pot on it, that'll suction to the stove. And when you go to lift your pot, your stove will come with it. And in a previous video, it fell off, splashed methyl hydrate everywhere, and there was blue flame all over. It was a great time. So let's get this one filled up with methyl hydrate. I'm not going to go nuts on it. I don't want this one to burn for 25 minutes like the last one. I'm going to put in what I think will be enough to boil water, maybe like 10-minute burn, hopefully. Let's fill her up and see what happens. And get it lit. I'm going to light this one with a match, I think. And a lighter. I'll show you in a second. Okay, let's fill her up. Hopefully not too much methyl hydrate. Now that should be all getting wicked into my yellow pipe insulation there. Oh, that's quite a bit of methyl hydrate I put in there. Not really sure I've burned this one, but not with the steel screen there. Oh well, let's light them up and see what happens. Get my timer ready. Okay, it's lit. Let's see, hopefully it doesn't take too long to bloom. Oh, it's blooming right away. Look at that. Is that ever efficient? Holy. Okay, I think we're good to get water. Well, that bloomed in no time at all. So, got my pot of water here. Gotta be careful how I put that on there. Let's start our timer. That stove is giving her. Does that ever look cool? Just gotta make sure when you put your pot back down that he's not gonna fall over. That's why I think maybe crossbars will be good in this stove, just to give you a little bit more forgiveness when you're taking a pot on and off. That looks cool. I am 4 minutes in, and I am hearing boiling noises. It's steam. I got noise. Don't quite have a hard boil yet. I think by 5 minutes I will, though. The stove is going strong. It's pumping out some heat. Yes, sir. 4 minutes, 40 seconds. Hard boil. Crazy. Under 5 minutes. You win, little new stove. Wow. Whoa, where's my gloves? Now that was cool. Four minutes and 40 seconds that took to boil 2 cups of water. That is an efficient little stove right there. It's not super stable. Like I said, I made my crossbars to fit this as well. I don't know if I can get them on while it's burning. Yeah, I can. I just took the grinder to my bars, and that would make it a lot more stable for my pot. I just wasn't sure how that would affect the boil time. Definitely like the stability that the crossbars provide there. And I don't think it's going to hurt it at all. I think that would be still boiling in a very reasonable amount of time. Cool. I'm going to keep the timer going. Oops. I'll just leave those crossbars on for now. I'm going to keep the timer going and see how long it takes for the stove to burn out. All right. There we go. The new stove's just puttering out. It is 23 minutes that it burned for. So the old stove burned for 25. So it was a little bit longer. And I would say a little less methyl hydrate to get to that 25 minutes. But the new stove is the champion today. For this shed experiment, the new stove boiled water in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. That's amazing to me. There, that stove's almost completely out now. A little bit of fire in the center there. So we have a winner. The winner is the new stove. And you know, I was super happy with the old stove that I made. I used it for months. It got me through all the burn bans when I couldn't have a fire. But now this guy, I think he's the stove. He's the one I'm going to start taking now when I'm going into the woods and can't have a fire. You work good, man. Real good. Anyway, there you have it. Shed experiment. Didn't burn the shed down. Proved out my new stove. Compared it to the old stove. Old stove took 7.5 minutes to boil 2 cups of water. New stove took 4 minutes, 40 seconds to boil 2 cups of water. Amazing. Anyway, time to hit her in for supper, I guess. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed my shed experiment. I hope you'll join me on the next one. Oh, and remember, you'll never see anything unless you get out and look. Go have a look, man. It's so worth it. Bye for now.